Assalamu alaikum everybody. Welcome to what we hope is going to be the first of a series of webinars that FPCCI's Central Standing Committee on Tourism Development, of which I'm the convener for this. By the time I received my appointment letter, it was already almost mid-February. And we started the year with great enthusiasm, holding 2 meetings at FPCCI and getting a presentation ready with our proposals for the promotion of tourism, which we were planning on sharing with the government when Corona struck. So we had no choice but to change our thinking and our plans, and at least for what seems to be the foreseeable future. And we are now focusing our attention on how we can promote safe local tourism in the days ahead so as to keep the economy going, perhaps to create jobs rather than to lay off people, and safeguard all businesses heavily connected with tourism. Hence, we will be talking to various stakeholders, beginning with today's session, in which we've invited hoteliers of Pakistan to participate and to share their views. So, without further ado, let me introduce today's August participants. We will be hearing Mr. Zubair Baweja, who you can see on the screen, who is not only the chairman Pakistan Hotels Association, he is also MD Regent Plaza Hotels, and he is vice president FPCCI for this year. Our other eminent speakers include Mr. Mustansir Zakir, CEO Hajwani Hotels that own Marriott and PC Hotels in Pakistan, and Mr. Salimullah Sheikh, COO Arabian Sea Enterprises Limited that owns Movenpick Hotel Karachi. We also have in our esteemed panel, Ms. Asma runs an eco-tourist resort in Hunza by the name of Mountain Story, and who's also incidentally a member of our committee. And then there is, of course, Mr. Azim Qureshi, who you can also see with us, Corporate Director of Sales Avari Hotels Limited and GM Beach Luxury Hotel.
Thank you very much for this inviting me on this forum. Yes, this is a very challenging situation right now, and retaining of staff and the cost which is associated with retaining of staff. As a first step, our group has taken the initiative that all the senior members or managers whose salaries are above 200,000 rupees per month up to maximum, we have created a slab like 200,000. Those who are drawing and above, they are voluntarily cutting off their pay by 20%. And similarly, by those who are getting 400,000, they are on 30%. And the maximum, the highest slab, they are giving a slash voluntarily of 50% of their pay scale. This we have done for an interim period of for 3 months, and we will see and watch the situation, how the market is going to react and what is going to be the impact of this epidemic on the hotel industry. And then maybe this can be extended for the next future months also. Pakistan have enough capacity of a local tourism and local inbound, what we can say, traffic for the hotel, for the airline, and for other related industry. We do not have to be panicked. We have to find out and gear up ourselves. Hotel is also a very special industry. So retaining of a staff is also in a benefit for the hotel industry itself, because they are the talented people, they are the skilled labor, they are not the unskilled people. So one challenge is to retain them, and second challenge is to how to overcome this financial crisis. So hotel industry has to fight on the both end. We have to find avenues how we can earn and increase and accumulate and accelerate our revenue streams.
Actually, this was the purpose of this exercise, so that we could do some brainstorming and see how we could try and increase tourism locally to compensate for the tourism that we are not going to get now from outside.
We might reimburse whatever at this point of time they have volunteered, cut in their pay scale.
Okay.
As far as for the future retention of employees, we're going to retain our employees. There is no such policy of Ashu Group to discard or eliminate skilled labor. Because in Hashu Group, we have a motto and a vision that we work as a family. Employee is our family. Like in a hotel business, in the tourism business, there are four partners: owners, your suppliers, your employee, and your guest. So employees are the equal shares, I can say, shareholding they have in this industry. They are
Right.
our, they are trained people. Fine, if we at this point of time we ask them to leave, but what about tomorrow? If situation is getting at normal, we will lose the skilled labor and we will lose our family members. So we will fight for this situation up to last. We will retain them. We will try to cut other areas like we have done it our high pay scale. Yes, we're going to ask them
That's
to
very
volunteer.
heartening, Watson Saab. That's really very heartening to hear.
Yes.
Salimullah Sheikh Saab, I'd like to ask you my next question. I think mic is off. उसको आप on कर दीजिएगा. Hotels the world over are converting their vacant rooms into office spaces so that people can safely work from there undisturbed. And as Mr. Mustansir also said, we have to now start being innovative because the regular streams जो आ रहे थे for income, those are all blocked now. So we have to come up with innovative packages and so on. So has your hotel also thought of any alternate revenue streams that it could bank on?
Well, yes, definitely. Unfortunately, hotel industry is one of the hardest hit industry because of this coronavirus pandemic. The other is airline, you all know. But fortunately, hotel has some options to, as Mr. Mustan said, to look some other options to increase our revenues, remaining within this social distancing and all these things which are necessary nowadays. We already know that room business is going to be heavily affected. Whether people will use our rooms as their offices or not, it's something tricky, but we can offer definitely. Our rooms are available for any purpose business executives want to use them for. But the most important thing is that we can raise or increase our revenues by utilizing our other resources, like we have banquet rooms, meeting rooms. Social distancing is necessary, so we cannot have meetings with so many people. But you can know virtual conferencing like we are having. Virtual meetings are in, and there are so many companies who have board members in different countries. For example, some board members may be based in Karachi, some are based in Dubai or Singapore. So what we can do, we can offer them space where 4 or 5 board members can sit together with social distancing between them. And similarly, there are other board members situated in other countries. They can utilize the services in hotel in that country. And for that, we will have to maybe invest a certain amount for getting the right equipment. On restaurant side, we are already in the delivery business, which is the future of food business. Then again, on the online business side, we can utilize our health club services, like we can give training, yoga, fitness training online. We can go into delivery of our laundry business. The laundry can be provided to homes. There's a huge demand, and people are not coming out there off to the home. Then there is a subscription service. All good companies have subscribers, and they give many benefits to their subscribers. I think hotels can start these services. Individual hotels can have their subscribers, and the subscribers can have multiple trainings. Like I said, yoga training, fitness training. Even the chef can give cooking classes online, which will be I believe, very beneficial for the people who are sitting at home, especially housewives. Plus training on hotel management. Because we all believe that whatever is going on is temporary. When it will be over, that's a question. But there are some good news that are also coming about vaccine. Uh, if I believe if there was a time when hotel industry could think out of the box, I think this is the time. We, as Mr. Zakir said, that we have to think out of the box, new avenues, new things which hotel never used to do in the past. We will have to do it now. So these are some of the sources, plus some more things can come up, which will at least retain our revenues to some extent.
Shiksha, these ideas that you've just shared with us are fantastic. I think that's exactly the need of the hour right now.
As I said, the food delivery business has already been started. Being Ramzan, it is limited to certain timings. But laundry delivery is also in process. The virtual meeting thing is under consideration because it needs certain planning, and we have to take companies on board. They should be interested in availing this service. Plus, there may be some equipment which will have to be bought for this purpose. So within a few months, I think the hotel will be shifting to new sources of income.
Okay, that sounds great. Because this is, like I said, the need of the hour. I think we need to improvise now. Asma, can you hear me? And can you just say hi so I know that we can hear you? Great.
I can hear you.
Great. Okay. So my next question is to you. Your retreat is almost entirely dependent on tourists for its survival. Do you feel that in the current scenario, there is still great potential for local tourists to visit in the coming summer months once the lockdown is over, and for them to come and stay at your hotel, given that the numbers would be contained and relatively safe, therefore?
Both of you have said very interesting things, but being in the north, it's a little different. And of course, tourism business has really been hit in a bad way all over the world. And I think but people are getting aware. And once this COVID is over, people are aware of social distancing and they're taking care. I do feel that if not the regular tourists, I think a certain percentage would come back as long as we stick to the format of the government's SOPs. But having said that, I mean, think about this. With the COVID, international travel is going to be limited. So what are people going to do? They're going to look into their own country. Exactly. With COVID now, people have been stuck in their home for months. They want to de-stress, see something else. They're tired of being home. Number 3, with the COVID, people have been jobless. Income has really gone down. So people can't travel abroad. So they will want to look into their own country. And number 4, the dollar rate, the change in the dollar rate, that's really affected us in a big way. So traveling abroad is not for everyone, I think. And who's going to do this air travel, long distance? I don't see that happening. But all said and done, I think Pakistan is an amazing country. We have so much to offer. Sufi tours, religious tours, history tours, culture tours, adventure tours, food tours, wellness tours. So much can happen. And inshallah, will happen.
Exactly. In fact, this is what we were thinking, that because of the coronavirus and all these factors that you pointed out, the economy, the dollar rate, the fear, obviously international travel is out of the question. And that's why I think it's absolutely the right time to promote local tourism. But that will also have to be done, keeping all our safety measures in place, because we are not out of the danger zone yet. In fact, it's likely that it will peak, and we can be hopeful that this will finish sometime soon or by the end of the year. But we still have to think of alternate ways of doing things.
Yes, I have been getting a lot of phone calls. People have been asking me when we are going to open, but I don't have an answer to give them. You see? So I'm just waiting. And if you look at my resort, these are little chalets, and each chalet is like 10 feet away from the next one. So social distancing is going to happen.
The purpose of all these exercises is going to be that we finally do make some SOPs and present it to the government. And the government appreciates very much the fact that businesses are at a downturn right now.
Yes.
I think they will be sort of open to us doing things which keeping the safety practices in mind, and like you said, 10 feet apart and the social distancing, stuff like that. If we commit that we are going to follow all the rules, then I think hopefully the government will allow it. And once these smaller setups start opening up, it will give hope to the setups to also follow suit and keep social distancing in place and run their hotels.
And Hunza is a place where you go for a trek, you go up for mountain climbing. You don't see many other people that are around you in any case.
Exactly. Azim Saab, this brings me to my question for you, because with you representing specifically Beach Luxury Hotel also, and I know that that's old world charm. It's not made the way most 5-star hotels or 4-star hotels are made these days. The layout is such that it's more conducive to social distancing. So, do you think that you are going to be able to get in people at this stage also to stay and to use the facilities of the hotel?
Shahnaz, thank you very much. Beach Luxury is basically a kind of a resort which is available in a business hub. So yes, the occupancy has gone, the business has gone like anything. It's altogether a game changer, what I say, after a few months. And we all have to learn how to work with it and how to fight with it. So all assumptions and spectacles, ideas are welcome from everywhere. Everybody's trying. Let's see what happens, but inshallah something will happen good for all of us, inshallah. That's what I believe. Coming back to Beach Luxury is basically, as I said, resort. So people, we had 10% occupancy, 18% occupancy also before Ramadan. Even we have touched 20% occupancy. And people who live in Karachi came here, stayed here, enjoyed the room service. The basic thing of this hotel is the food. So the food lovers can get the food through room service, So we worked out somehow the other kind of a, not break even, but we managed something out of this. But in Ramadan, it is totally silent. So we're working out with deliveries and takeaways, which is working very well. Again, the food variety, what we have, the Dynasty at Hawaii Towers and Lahore, three hotels of ours are open right now. Lahore and Karachi Towers and us at Beach Luxury. So we are managing, but again, as I said, it is going to be a game changer, and let's see what happens, because whatever we have to try. I agree with Mustansir Saab that this country never had foreigners. I mean, even before 9/11, we used to have 70-30% ratio. But after that, it is all local market. So we, as a local tourism, has supported us. I used to be a front office manager. Now I'm become a corporate director for Vari Hotels. Mustansir Saab is the CEO. Salim Sheikh Saab is the CEO of Movenpick owning company. The lady we spoke. All this becomes of the domestic tourism. This domestic tourism has taken us to this place now. So I'm very hopeful things gonna get better, and inshallah things get better.
No, I'm very happy to hear that you all have not been facing the problem that all the other hotels have been facing, and actually. That is specifically why I asked you that question with Beach Luxury in reference, because I know that like Asma's resort, that becomes as something that people could still go to because it's fewer people, space is more, ground level, a lot of capacity for people to move around freely without jostling one another. So,
Shahnaz, one thing I also like to add, if I may. Hello.
Ji, please.
Please go ahead. What we did, we given mostly department heads. We sent them on a leave, paid leave. Whoever was not been able to have a paid leave, we have given them advanced paid leave in all our group, total Avari hotels. And in this hotel and our other two hotels also, we are the GMs are in house and looking after all departmental works, and mostly department heads are on leave with their number twos. So we are crashing down the annual leave and all that. It is a liability, so we're taking that opportunity also.
That's terrific. That's very good. I'm afraid we've lost Mr. Zubair Baweja somewhere down the line. He was very much with us in the beginning, but he seems to have disappeared. So I don't know whether he'll be able to join in. But I've been seeing a lot of comments in the column, and there's one very interesting comment made by Amina Khan, who is also part of our tourism committee. And she says that I think there might be a big influx of tourism as soon as people can travel internationally again. So our hotels need to brace themselves for that too. It won't be right away, but it is coming. So I suppose you all must be keeping that in mind also, that at the moment things are slow, but hopefully it will change soon. And then we may have people coming in with a greater force than earlier. So have you all even thought of that? And are you preparing for that?
I will just say, bring it on.
Good.
In fact, I would like to add that internationally, there is a data that bookings for December of this year and January of next year are much higher than the past year. So people are already preparing to travel and they're waiting for this pandemic to be over. So you are right, there will be a big influx whenever this thing is over.
Exactly, that's what we're hoping. Those of you who are watching us on Facebook Live and from any of our pages, if you all want to ask anything, you all can put down your comments in this comment box.
Although there are disadvantages, as I earlier said, in this pandemic situation, there are advantages for countries like Pakistan as well. It is true that we hoteliers in Pakistan are mainly dependent on local community, local business. But as we know that Asia being the biggest continent, and after this pandemic is over, it is very likely that people will be traveling within their region so that they don't have to spend more time on airports or in long flights. So they will be traveling to areas which are nearby. For example, Chinese will be traveling within other countries, within Asia in other countries. So in that likelihood, Pakistan has a better chance of having international tourists as well, as compared to other areas like Europe and Americas or Africa. After the pandemic is over, Pakistan might see if we do the image building better, if we do our marketing better, we are likely to have more tourists internationally as well than other areas like Europe or America.
Bilkul. In fact, the sad part is that we were before the corona, we had made a presentation to present to the government exactly about this that we wanted to market ourselves better and we wanted to cash in on all the beautiful spots that we have, which nobody seems to even know about, even though they're living in Pakistan. And we really wanted to promote tourism.
So the airline has to really think and come up with some economic plans about the rates, affordable rates, which can induce the locals to travel, to feel the joy of different taste of cities of Pakistan. The other segment, which is airline and railway and public transport, they have to come up with some sort of a package.
So I think that this is now the need of the hour as well, and we should sit on this. And we're glad to have Mr. Zubair Baweja with us, who's now the chairman for the association. So we can sit and I think draft something for them. And it was interesting that you mentioned Gwadar, because the initial proposal that we were taking for the government to promote tourism, it was in that strip of Gwadar, Dormara strip, and where there are so many beautiful sites which people don't even know about, which could be tapped for tourism. Before we sign off, and before I thank all of you for taking out the time for being here, the panelists, as well as all the people who have joined us live. I can see a lot of comments. A lot of people are watching us live. And thank you so much for taking out this time. And please do join us in 2 weeks again on the 14th of May. Inshallah, we'll have tour operators with us and we'll do a session with them as well. And hopefully something is going to come out of this and we'll have Destination Pakistan this year. So stop visiting all your relatives and friends abroad. Come and see Pakistan and get people to come here instead. So thank you once again.